Okay, girls, so we're going to do our lesson for today, which is on chapter 12.4, adding and subtracting integers. Please make sure to put your date at the top. And the first section, we're going to talk about adding integers. Now, let's remember that integers talk about numbers positive and negatives. And what I want to make an emphasis here is that maybe many of you have done this in primary school, but we want to get used to doing this by using a number line. So the process that we're going to use here involve a number line, and as our first step says there, we must use a number line. So everyone should be doing this using a number line, and in your test I want to see number lines for each one of the problems. So the first step says we need to use a number line. Then the first number in the operation is going to give us a starting point. Then the sign is going to tell us in what direction we need to move. If it's a positive, we need to move to the right. If it's a negative, we need to move to the left. And then the second number tells me how many steps to move. And where the answer will be where I finish when I'm standing at that point. So let's look at this with some examples to clarify how we want you to use number lines. So I'm just going to put this one next to this for the example. Okay, so 2 plus 3. All of you know the answer to that one, but as I said, we want you to get used to using your number lines. So following the steps. First step says, what do I need to do first? First thing that I need to do is to start with the first number is telling me. So I start here. Okay, I'm here. Then the sign is going to tell me in which direction I'm going to move. Because it's a positive sign, it's telling me that I have to move to the right. Then the second number is going to tell me how many steps. Okay, 3 steps. So I start here and I go 1, 2, 3, and I finish here. My final answer is going to be a 5, which we knew we were going to get to that answer. Fantastic. Now I'm going to raise this to use my number line again for my second example. Let's go down a little bit more. Fantastic. Okay, so 10 minus 3. Perfect. So I'm going to first number tells me where do I start, so I start in the 10. Fantastic. Then the sign is going to tell me in which direction I need to move. Because it is a negative, it tells that I have to move to the left. How many steps? The second number is telling me how many steps, 3. So I go 1, 2, 3, and then they end up in the 7, which we knew, and that's my answer here. Good. Let's do the next one. So with the number line again. Okay, so, what number do I have here? My first number is saying negative 2. Okay, so I place myself in the negative 2. Then my sign is saying positive. So that means that I'm going to move in that direction. How many steps? 4 steps. So I start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that I went over the 0. I started in the negative, now moving into the positive, and my final answer is going to be 2. Okay, fantastic. Let's erase this one. Let's go and continue going down. So negative 1 minus 7. So first number is telling me where do I have to stand. So negative 1 here. Well done. Then the sign is telling me that it's negative, therefore I'm going to be looking to the left. How many steps do I need to move? 7. So I start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I ended up in the negative 8. Well done, so my answer is negative 8. Okay, for this one I need to draw a new number line because this one that it goes up to negative 10 is not going to be enough. So I'm going to draw it here just to show you also how you can do it. I'm just going to move this one upwards a little bit more. Okay, so let's do our line. It doesn't have to be perfect. I know that I'm going to start in negative 10. I'm going to write negative 11, negative 8, negative 8, 9, negative 8, negative 12, 13, negative 13, negative 14, negative 15, negative 16, negative 17, and negative 18. Okay, so the problem is saying that you start with a negative 10. So I'm going to place myself there in the negative 10. Then it says negative sign, therefore I'm going to be moving to the left. How many steps? 8 steps. So I start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I finish in the negative 18. That's going to be my answer. Fantastic. For this exercise that I have now, I can use these ones. I'm going to move this one over here. This doesn't look very clear. I'm just going to rub this out. Good. Perfect. And now let's scroll this one a little bit further. Okay, so for this one it says negative 5. So I start at negative 5. So I start at negative 5. Then it goes a positive sign, so I have to look to the right. How many steps? 3 steps. So I go 1, 2, 3. So I finish in negative 2, and that's going to be my answer. You can see here that for some reason we already have the answers to the last ones, but I'm going to delete it, and we're going to do it with the number line. So number 7, it says we start at negative 3, so we start at negative 3. Then it says that I have to move in the positive direction. So I'm going to move in the positive direction. How many steps? 1, 2, 3. And as the answer said before, we get to 0. Great. Now, negative 4 plus 7. So I start in the first number gives me my starting point. So negative 4. And the sign tells me that I have to move to the right because it's a positive sign. How many steps? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then finish at 3. Well done, girls. This is the first video for today's lesson.